Hi, more Cowbell. The more Cowbell. Thank you. Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country, coming to you from the SEC Country Studios here in beautiful gray downtown Atlanta, Georgia. We're not downtown. I don't know why I said that. We're out on 285 up here near Dunwoody. That's where we are. That's where I am. The SEC Country Studios. I got Terp. I got Landshark on the other side of the glass. They are doing an average job today, as always. I am not. I am fantastic. Here I am. Grace Thacker, good mornings. Brian Sisk, good morning. Jason Brinson, good morning. Jenny Rawson, good morning. So excited to head to Omaha this Saturday. Mac McBrayer checking in from Saltillo. Hello. So we'll talk about Omaha. We'll talk about the Mississippi State Bulldogs being one of 8 teams. The field is now set. We know what it will take. 3 SEC teams. We knew that all along, but we know who the teams are now. Mississippi State against Washington, Oregon State against North Carolina. On the other side, Florida against Texas Tech, Arkansas against Texas. That is your field. 3 SEC, 2 Big 12, 2 Pac-12, and an ACC team. That is Omaha this year, and Mississippi State right in the mix of all of it. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I'll give you my opinion. I asked my guest yesterday his opinion about this, and I'll talk about this today. Where this run really ranks, how it feels, how it feels in Mississippi State history. We'll talk about that. Mississippi State basketball towards the end of the show. Mississippi State basketball beefing up their non-conference schedule. I like to see it. Love it. And last but not least today, we're going to have a shot of Jim. We're going to celebrate some of Jim Ellis's great baseball calls at Mississippi State University. That'll be fun.
Are your comments working?
Yes. Good morning in Hail State from KC Mo, says Pierre Causey. That's Kansas City, Missouri. Morning, Brandon. Stan C. Riddle. Hello, Jackie Bush in Starkville. Alessandro Macanico. I hope I got that one right. Probably didn't. Gives me a thumbs up. Karen Morgan DeWeese. Good morning. Lynn Rhodes Gilmer's in Tupelo getting her car serviced. Ginger Tuck wants Butch Thompson as our coach. I want whoever can win. I'm through guessing. I'm through saying this is what I want. I just John Cohen, go get him. Go get whoever it is. Friday's walk-off was not one of Jim's best, says Toby Denton. No, and it's not on the list today. No, it was not. He missed on that one. You know. Can't win them all. Hail State from Alaska, Bob Eubank. Is Bob Eubank, or is that Bob Eubanks, the former host of the Newlywed Game and Card Sharks, the famous game show host?
What's the best game show?
Very good question. I'm a Jeopardy guy. I'm a Jeopardy, followed by Wheel of Fortune. Those are the 2 best in my opinion.
It's fun.
What do you think the best game show is?
I used to like Deal or No Deal. No, there's 0 skill in that.
0 skill whatsoever. I am starving. I just need you to know that. I didn't know I was this hungry until I got out here. I am absolutely famished. Awesome job setting them straight on SEC Country. Hail State from Louisville, Kentucky, Chris Crawford. Hail State from Mobile, Dustin Sanford. I saw Traquan Key in West Point. South Haven, Mississippi, William Gaines. Borden Crawford says since IHOP is changing their name, that one-legged gal named Eileen is out of a job. I'll do the jokes around here, Borden. That wasn't bad. So what was the record of walk-offs for Super Regionals? Feel bad for the Auburn kid, Wade Glass. I watched that game. And I don't usually watch college baseball that doesn't involve Mississippi State, but I watched that game. I still can't imagine that strike call that Auburn didn't get in the top of the bottom of the 10th inning. Didn't end up costing them anything, but my goodness. I'm eating chocolate chip muffins, says Landon Miles. Delicious. That's Landon Miles. I've never liked you. I'm starving. Hail State from Oxford, Blake Thompson. Cinda Corson says, Hail State, baby, go Dogs. We're pulling for you always with 3 baseball emojis. Corson? I don't know why I said Corson. You need a steak sandwich from Jack Pirtle's Chicken. Have mercy, says William Gaines. I don't know what Jack Pirtle's Chicken is, but I do need a steak sandwich from there. I can tell you that right now. You want to throw a Google on Jack Pirtle's Chicken over there? You know what? No, I'm getting fired anyway. I'll just sit here and Google it myself. That's what I'll do. Jack Pirtle's Chicken.
It's great content.
This is good content. Hey, somebody tells me I need a steak sandwich from Jack Pirtle's Chicken.
Why is it a steak sandwich from a chicken place? Shouldn't it be a chicken?
I don't know.
Sandwich?
Apparently, this is a little chain around Memphis, Memphis, Tennessee, because there's 3 of them in Memphis. It's let's look at the menu here. Let's look at the menu. You want to do that?
Should we order out for lunch from there?
From there?
Get
You want to
it-
go to
get it
Memphis?
tonight?
Okay. Good stuff. We'll talk about Mississippi State baseball in Omaha. We'll talk about where this run ranks. We'll talk about Mississippi State basketball. Oh, God, look at that chick. Look at that chick. Huh? Some good-looking chick.
Get some of that.
Woo! Okay. Thank goodness. We'll talk about Mississippi State basketball beefing up their non-conference schedule, and then at the end we'll have a shot of Jim. We'll celebrate some of Jim Ellis's best baseball calls. We got four. Got four to talk about. Hail State from Cherokee, Alabama, Pam Carson. Go Dogs all the way to Omaha win. Shannon C. Boy, y'all are really testing me this morning. Trickesit is my guess. Jack Pirtles is amazeballs, says John Kelsey. Amazeballs. I did not expect to say that on today's show. All right. So, again, we're going to talk about, what did I say? Omaha, where the run ranks, Mississippi State basketball scheduling, and we'll celebrate Jim Ellis at the end of the show. Terp, should I do my stuff before I get going? Yeah, let's do my stuff. Let's run through my stuff. Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. That's the new page for this new show. I will be launching my new show in July as SEC Country is going away, but I'm not. I will continue to do this. Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show is where you'll be able to find this video show on a daily basis. I'll also try to stream on YouTube and other stuff, but the starting point will be Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. Facebook Live will continue. Now, Patreon.com, I need a little extra scratch, need a little help from you guys as I launch this company. Please consider donating. Patreon.com/More Cowbell. If you want to email me, go to morecowbellshow@gmail.com, morecowbellshow@gmail.com, and please, is that all? Is that all I got? Is that my three? I don't remember if I added another one. Okay, there you go. And this balling shirt I got right here, excuse me, Lefty Bell, which you can buy at Maroon & Company. Look at this. This is my favorite thing that I own with Mississippi State on it. It's one of my 7 favorite things. Mississippi State baseball logo on the coach's pullover. I love it. I got it from Maroon & Company, Highway 12 in Starkville. Please check it out. Look at that. Look at that. There's me pimping for Maroon & Company. That's me. That Riley Banana shirt sold out on maroonandcompany.com or Maroon & Co. Check that out. If you'll refresh today, I think she's going to get it back up, D. Curtis. I think she'll have some more. All right, Terp, are you ready?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Let's go.
It's the More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
That's me, Brandon Walker, More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Yeah, I just rang both. I just... Okay, More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Woo! We are off and running here on a Tuesday, one of our last Tuesdays. Well, we got 3 Tuesdays left until June 30th when they run me out of the building and take my computer and tell me, slap me on the butt and tell me good job. Maybe they don't even do that. But Brandon Walker, More Cowbell, Mississippi State podcast. We are here. We're going to talk about Mississippi State sports. We're going to talk about baseball, obviously, as the field in Omaha is set. We know who's going. We know who will be with us. 8 teams out there in Omaha, Mississippi State, one of them where they belong. 10th appearance ever in the College World Series for Mississippi State. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. We'll talk about Omaha. We'll talk about what it means. We'll talk about all that. We'll also talk about what this run, how it really weighs historically for Mississippi State as a state fan, and the run that we're in the midst of. And I'm not just talking about baseball. We'll discuss that a little bit later. Men's basketball beefing up their non-conference schedule. Men's basketball definitely kind of jumping into the deeper end of the pool when it comes to scheduling teams. I'm excited about that. We'll talk about that. And then at the end of the show, we always do a shot of Jack on Wednesdays. And we will do a shot of Jack tomorrow. We'll do 4 Jack Crystal clips that we celebrate. But as great as Jack Crystal is, as great as Jack Crystal was doing football games, Jim Ellis is equally as good doing baseball games. Jim Ellis, 40 years, has been the baseball voice of Mississippi State, and we'll celebrate some of Jim Ellis's best recent calls with 4 clips at the end of the show. We'll talk about that. Before I get started, I want to tell you, Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. Please go like that page if you're listening to me on the podcast right now. That's where I'll launch my new show in July. I'm going around Mississippi soliciting funds right now. So yeah, if you want to give me money, please give me money. Give me all your money, please. We'll definitely. I have no idea what to talk about now. morecowbellshow@gmail.com. Please email me there if you have anything to say or if you have any encouragement or discouragement. That would be fine too. morecowbellshow@gmail.com. And I am wearing the coach's pullover with the Mississippi State baseball logo. It is an incredible shirt. I've also got 2 cowbells. The lefty bell right here, made by the Junction Bell with the baseball handle. The pinstripe bell right here. Both can be had at Maroon & Company. You can get the Maroon & Company. You can get the Rally Banana shirt at Maroon & Company right now. It's online only, I think. maroonandco.com. Check that out. It sold out yesterday, but I believe they've restocked. So get that Rally Banana shirt. And I wear a 2X. I'm just telling y'all. That's all I'm saying. I wear a 2X. Now, Mississippi State going to Omaha. Mississippi State is one of 8 teams. We now know who the other 8 teams are, or the other 7 teams are. Mississippi State will play Washington Saturday night at 7 o'clock Central Time. They will be behind UNC, North Carolina, and Oregon State, who play at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe. On Sunday, we'll be joined by the other teams, Arkansas and Texas, Texas Tech and Florida. Mississippi State belongs here. Mississippi State making its 10th appearance ever. And as exciting as this run has been, as euphoric as the last couple of weeks have been, now it's time to just settle down and realize Mississippi State is one of 8 teams who can win a national title. Is Mississippi State the favorite? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Was Mississippi State the favorite in Tallahassee? Absolutely not. Were they the favorite in Nashville? No chance. So they're not the favorite now, and who would want it any other way? This team doesn't really care if they're the favorite. This team doesn't care what number you have beside your team. They don't care if you're number 1 Florida, who they swept. They don't care if you're number 3 Arkansas, who they swept. They don't care if you're number 4 Ole Miss, which was a fake number that they beat 3 out of 4. They don't care about any of that. They care about going out and winning baseball games, winning tough baseball games, winning elimination games, and just absolutely having the guts and the courage to get here. So why would you even consider not thinking that they can win the national title? They can. It is one of the most remarkable stories in recent Mississippi State history, baseball or otherwise. This team left for dead so many times, including by yours truly. That's me. I never thought this was going to happen, but it has happened. And now that you look at it, you got 2 SEC teams on one side, Florida and Arkansas, Texas Tech and Texas also on that side. Now those, with the exception of Texas, those are all really, really good teams. Texas just okay. I'm amazed that Texas was able to beat mighty Tennessee Tech. I thought Tennessee Tech was going to be included in Major League Baseball next year. I thought that's how good they were, but apparently they weren't. Apparently that was just fake, which is surprising. The euphoria of the moment will pass in the next couple of days, and the reality is that Mississippi State has a chance to win a national title. If Ethan Small continues to pitch well, I don't know who will pitch first. I know Gary Henderson had a press conference this morning. But if Ethan Small continues to pitch well, and then if you can get the ace potential out of Pilkington, and we've seen it before at Mississippi State. He hasn't really had that ace stuff in the last 5 or 6 appearances, maybe even more than that, but Pilkington has it in him. Connor Pilkington has top-of-the-line ace stuff. If you can get that, all of a sudden you become one of the better teams in Omaha. The bullpen, which was maligned all year, and then against Oklahoma had a fiasco, an absolute disaster against Oklahoma, led to a 13-run giving up 13 runs to end that game. The bullpen has matured, and all of a sudden is a strength of this team. Cole Gordon, Neff, all these guys, Riley Self coming in. You know, Riley Self had a bad inning the other night, but he's been the best pitcher on the whole staff this year. I'm going to give him a pass. But the bullpen all of a sudden is a strength. If you go out there and you can get your 2 starting pitchers going the right way, and you can use that bullpen, which is now a strength, I got to say, if the pitching staff can live up to what the lineup has done recently, because it just looks like a miserable experience trying to pitch to our lineup. You got Jake Mangum, who you know is going to make contact, and you know if it's a key situation, he's going to put the ball in play. He's going to get a hit. And then you've got Rowdy Jordan, who's just was a revelation as the number 2 hitter this week. You got Elijah McNamee, who hits walk-off bombs as a hobby. You have all these guys 1 through 9. Mississippi State just competes in this lineup and has really, really come so far. These freshmen, these 4 to 6 freshmen that are playing regularly, they're not freshmen anymore. They have made it to Omaha. They are a solid hitting team. I like our matchups. Washington, the worst ranked team in this entire College World Series. Mississippi State and Washington actually the lowest 2 ranked, but I don't care what we're ranked. We have proven that doesn't matter. But Washington is a good matchup for us. If State can beat Washington, all of a sudden you put yourself in a winner's bracket game against either Oregon State or North Carolina. You get one chance at them. Who knows what can happen in a one-game situation. If you can win the first 2, you're in great shape. That's what happened in 2013. State just blitzed through this thing, and I feel pretty good. I feel good about where this team is. I don't know what to expect, but that's the exciting thing, isn't it? I didn't know what to expect in Tallahassee. I was down on myself and Mississippi State when they lost to Oklahoma, and then all of a sudden it has been incredible. So where does this run rank? I asked Brian Haydab when we were on the show yesterday. I said, hey, where does it rank in recent history? And I think he put it right behind the 2014 run as far as going to number 1 in football. And that's probably right. That's probably right. In my lifetime, I would say, the most memorable runs for me are definitely before this were the 96 Final Four, which was amazing, and 2014 going to number 1 in football, which still feels surreal even 4 years later. And he's right that it ended poorly, but I'm talking about the run to there and being number 1 for 5 weeks. That was amazing. But this one is far and away more unlikely than either one of those was. Now, it's always unlikely for State to go to number 1, but we knew State was a good team. Dak Prescott was a great player. We knew that. And they went to number 1, and it was amazing. But this team lost its coach. They started the season by getting drilled 3 times by Southern Miss. This team was 2-7 in the SEC at one point. This team had a losing record in early April or late March? This team struggled so much and fought, and all of a sudden, towards May and at the end of April, the door started swinging. You sweep Ole Miss. Well, you didn't sweep Ole Miss. You took Title 3 from Ole Miss. You sweep Arkansas. You sweep Florida. And what's going on? How is this team doing this? And lo and behold, here they are in Omaha. It's the most unlikely run I can ever remember. As far as baseball, listen, the ones I remember in my lifetime are 1990, 97, 98, 2013, 2007. But as far as baseball, this is my favorite run there ever was. Not just because they're there, the way they got there, the drama, so much drama. The Super Regional is already being hailed by college baseball experts as the best Super Regional that's ever been played. The walk-off drama, McNamee doing it twice, the other night scoring 4 runs in the 11th. This team has just been visually appealing. They have been emotionally appealing. You like these guys. You like Jake Mangum. You love the way they come together. The Rally Banana thing is fun. I love this team. Where does it rank? All time, I'd probably put it behind, go to number 1 and the 96 Final Four. But as far as baseball, it's my favorite. It might be my favorite team we've ever fielded at Mississippi State. I've already said it. I don't watch a lot of college baseball. I don't watch any college baseball that doesn't involve Mississippi State. But last night I watched Florida and Auburn simply because I can't get enough college baseball right now. And that's because of this team that we have. They have got me hook, line, and sinker. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to say this. We get caught up as State fans. When we were up 6-3 in the ninth the other night and we gave up 3 runs, we all just had this feeling of dread because we've all been State fans. I'm 39. I've been a State fan for 39 years. However old you are, that's how long you've been a State fan. So you are used to disappointment. At least that's what we tell ourselves, right? Oh, I'm a State fan. I'm used to it. Here comes the other shoe. It's about to drop because I'm a State fan. It really ain't that way anymore. It really isn't that way because let's really look at the last couple of years. 2013, Mississippi State played for a national title. 2017 and 18, Mississippi State played in women's basketball for a national title. In the last 5 years, State has had a top 10 Heisman finisher. State has went to number 1 in football. Men's basketball is about to be a top 20 team next year. Ben Howland, it took a little while, but Ben Howland has built it back into something that is going to compete for NCAA tournament berths. Baseball is back in Omaha again. The disappointments we used to have as State fans was coming in 12th, coming in dead last in the SEC, going Tekken 10, doing all this, being the worst team in the league in whatever sport it was outside of baseball. That's what the disappointment used to be. Now our disappointments are losing to Notre Dame in the national title game, losing in big games in football, losing in big games in basketball. It's a new level of, it hurts when it happens, but look around you. Mississippi State's athletic department as a whole, the last 5 years, this is unprecedented. This is incredible times that we are living in. I want you to think about this. This baseball run to Omaha is unexpected, sure, but Mississippi State baseball is going to the College World Series. And to me, what this is a great lead-in to 2018 and 19. As good as this year was, a bowl win over Louisville, NIT Final Four, women's national title game, Omaha, as good as this year was, and it's great, next year is going to be, I'm going to use the word again, unprecedented. Mississippi State men's basketball, women's basketball, football, and baseball will all be preseason top 20 teams. Think about that. Football is a borderline top 10 team. Basketball, people will really like us. And we're going to be good. Women's basketball is a national title contender. That's what Vic Schaefer has built. And now this team, which we thought would be the worst team coming back next year, all of a sudden, you look and all these freshmen have gotten to Omaha. Jake Mangum's coming back. Ethan Small looks like he might come back. All of a sudden, the baseball roster is going to be loaded too, no matter who the coach is. Mississippi State sports are flat out fun right now, and it's incredible. And thank you to the baseball team for continuing that, because there were times this year where you said, all right, women's basketball was good, men's basketball is on the way, football was fun, but baseball, boy, this is a struggle. It ain't a struggle no more. They're playing for a national title. Think about that. Woo! Mississippi State men's basketball, the only problem they had last year was they didn't schedule themselves into the NCAA tournament. That was the only problem they had. And we knew that at the beginning of the year. We knew it was a weak schedule. We knew it wasn't strong. But as we got into SEC play and State played well, and State had a winning record in the SEC, or was very close to it, I can't remember the exact number, but State was one of the better teams in the SEC coming down the stretch. But that schedule came back and bit us, and we couldn't get into the NCAA tournament because of it. You remember last year, State was a better basketball team than Missouri. Missouri went to the tournament. State was a better basketball team coming down the stretch than Alabama. Alabama went to the tournament because they scheduled their way there. Well, now Ben Allen has fixed that. This year's schedule, we don't have the whole thing yet, but we have an idea of it. They announced the other day, December 8th, Mississippi State will play Clemson, a respectable Power 5 opponent. Then you got Cincinnati at home, returning a home-and-home there. You got BYU that we've added to the schedule. Arizona State, if you beat Arizona State, you got NC State in that tournament possibly. So big-time non-conference games this year for Mississippi State. They are fixing the one problem with last year's team. Usually from year to year, the problems you have to fix are on the players. You have to replace, a shooting guard. You have to replace a power forward. State doesn't have to replace anything. State has the players. They're ready. They just have to replace the mindset and the schedule, and I think both of those are going to be replaced. Whew, man. You need to sit down because we're about to get into the clips now. Jim Ellis has been doing Mississippi State baseball for 40 years, and as great as Jack Crystal was, he was great, the greatest college football play-by-play announcer ever. Jim Ellis is also one of the all-time greats when it comes to calling baseball games in the Southeastern Conference. Absolutely one of the all-time greats. So we always celebrate Jack Crystal, and with reason, and we're going to do that again tomorrow on the show. But today I thought we'd go back in time, as this has been an incredible baseball run, including that McNamee call from a couple of weeks ago. And I thought we'd go back and I've got 4 clips of walk-off wins for Mississippi State from the past, and I just thought we'd relive them right now as we celebrate with a shot of Jim. Terp, let me hear clip number 1.
Ending in 2/3, and the Bulldogs did not have a hit nor a run off of him. First pitch is hit high and deep in the outfield, way back, might go. Gone for a home run. Bulldogs will live to play another day. Unbelievable. Dickerson keeps the Dogs' hopes alive. And it's an excited bunch of Bulldogs who, after trailing...
That is, I believe, 2012. That is the Super Regional Mississippi State in Gainesville playing the Florida Gators. Nick Vickerson hits it's a home run, a walk-off home run. I think we were down 1 run, 2-1, and he hit a 2-run home run to beat Florida. Florida ended up winning the Super Regional the next day. But that was, we didn't know it then, but that was a jumping-off point in itself, as Mississippi State the next year would play for a national title. But Nick Vickerson hitting a walk-off home run, I can remember I was living in Saltillo, Mississippi at the time. I was working at the Daily Journal, which was just awful, just terrible. I hated it. But I was in the living room there, and my son Thomas was less than 2 years old. My daughter Emma was less than, she was right at 3.5, maybe 4 years old. And they were at my feet playing, and I was just watching out of duty. I didn't think State was going to beat Florida, and they hadn't shown anything. And all of a sudden, Nick Vickerson hits that ball, and I jump out of the chair, and I yell, and I say, let's go, and I probably cuss a little bit, and it has scarred Thomas Walker, my son, to this day. Terrified him. Happens with regularity now, but back then it didn't happen all that often. I think that was the first time he ever got scared from me watching a State game. This one happened this year. Actually, the next two happened this year, as Jim Ellis had the pleasure to call several walk-offs, starting with, we don't have the one from Luke Alexander against Ole Miss in the series with the home run. I couldn't find that one, but I found this one. Go, Terp.
On the pitch coming. Ball is in the air, in the gap, right center field, all the way to the wall. Mangum's a third. Across the plate is Anderson. Here he comes. He scores. Bulldogs have won it in walk-off fashion by a score of 7-6 over Ole Miss.
Did you hear that crowd? That was at the Governor's Cup game down in Pearl. And it sounded like a Mississippi State home game, which I guess it was. Only one fan base in this state really has a chance to get excited about baseball right now. But Jim Ellis really brought the excitement on that one. The walk-off home run or walk-off hit by Luke Alexander. Jake Mangum scores from first base. Boy, that was fun. It's always fun to beat Ole Miss. Fun to beat anybody, but beating Ole Miss in that fashion is even better. Now, recently, in the last 2 weeks, a couple of more. One player has entered his name into legendary status at Mississippi State. He did it the other night against Vanderbilt with another walk-off home run to help Mississippi State with a 1-0 lead in Super Regional. But first, he did it down in Tallahassee with the season on the line. Mississippi State down to its final strike. If this is a strike, if he grounds out here, we don't talk about Omaha. We don't talk about Super Regional. We're not talking about Mississippi State sports right now. We're out here talking about Designing Women or The Facts of Life, or some other random 80s sitcom, maybe Night Court. I don't know. But it happened. Elijah McNamee became a legend, and it was well called by Jim Ellis right here.
And the pitch. And there's a ball in the air, deep in the outfield. Got a chance! Gone! 3-run homer. McNamee leaping around the bases. Mississippi State has shocked Florida State and will stay alive and play some more in 2018.
Woo! Okay, all right. Calm down. Everybody calm down. Since that happened, the aftermath of Elijah McNamee's home run that week, we were like, yeah, it's great, but let's see what this team does, because, Burke Masters helped us get to Omaha, and it's the greatest of all time. And Burke Masters, the most iconic baseball moment in Mississippi State history. But, buddy, now that Mississippi State is in Omaha, now they're in the College World Series, and whatever happens from here, Mississippi State was down to its last strike. They were down 2-0 with 2 guys on base. And if McNamee doesn't do this, none of this happens. None of this. For everything that was great about Burke Masters' home run, and it was incredible, it was iconic, it was great. They weren't facing elimination. The backs weren't against the wall exactly like Elijah McNamee's were, and McNamee forever a legend at Mississippi State. But like I said, the most iconic moment in Mississippi State baseball history wasn't just because of what Burke Masters did. It wasn't just because he went 6 for 6 that day. It wasn't because he hit the grand slam. All those things are great, and that's 80% of it. But the call by Jim Ellis, the memorable call, the absolute expert call that he put on this home run that I'm about to play for you right now, makes it the most iconic moment ever. Terp, let's hear it.
Masters at the plate is 5 for 5 in this ball game. 3 balls and a strike to Masters. He's going to be sitting on a pitch now. He's going to be looking for a pitch that is in exactly the right spot. And if it's not, he'll let it go by. If Kimball can't throw a strike, this ball game is tied. If Masters gets a base hit, this ball game is at least tied. The 3-1 pitch is a drive deep to left, way back. It is gone. It is gone. A grand slam for Masters. A grand slam for Masters. This crowd is berserk. Mississippi State has taken an 11-8 lead in the top of the ninth.
I mean, yeah, thank God you can't zoom in to see the tears in my eyes right now or the goosebumps on my arm. Because that is the greatest baseball call in the history of Mississippi State University. He set it up perfectly. He lived it perfectly. The crowd was berserk. Everything about that call is not good. It's not great. It is absolutely, well, they're gone now. They're gone now, the goosebumps. It is perfect. 100% perfect. That is everything that I love about being a Mississippi State fan. That makes me want to take this cowbell and go outside on this I-285 out here and punch somebody with it. I love Mississippi State. I love Jim Ellis. I love that call. Oh, boy. Man, I don't know what to say. As great as the Jack Crystal calls every week, and we'll have them tomorrow, that call right there from Jim Ellis gets me more fired up than anything related to Mississippi State. I could listen to it all day. You know, the last show we ever do here might just be Jim and Jack. I might just sit here and let them play. No, because I'm iconic too. I need to let you guys hear me. Jim Ellis, you are the best that ever did it as far as calling a baseball game in the SEC and at Mississippi State, and thank you. Now, my name is Brandon Walker. We're going to shut the podcast down here. We'll be back tomorrow to talk other stuff about Mississippi State. I'm sure something will come up. Facebook Live, I'm coming to you. My name is Brandon Walker. You've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Oh, boy. I'm telling you, gets no better than that. It gets no better than that. Jeff Peaster says, I'm headed to Omaha this Friday, Hail State from Moorhead, Mississippi. Moorhead, Mississippi. Tears and goosebumps here, too, says Hope Cadenhead. Michael Sheridan says, you drinking Jim and Jack the last show should be nice. William Gaines, great show. God bless. Thank you, William Gaines. James Weaver says, Punch is School Up North fan. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm not going to. I feel like you. Landshark, I'm going to say this about you. All right. I feel like for a lady, you can punch exceptionally hard. You look like somebody that would possibly knock me out. You agree with that? What do you think, Terp? Fight between me and Landshark. I'm pretty sure it'd be even odds, wouldn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. She looks like somebody that will mess you up.
Yeah.
Brandon, you are the man. Way to bring back sweet, sweet golden memories. Thank you. I skipped down. Chad Mask says, hey, Brandon. Wow, it's going fast right now. Hey, Brandon, did you know that Ole Miss fan base claims their baseball team had a better year because they won the SEC tournament? Because we all know it is, of course, better to win a tournament. Yeah, Ole Miss fans say a lot of things, and they don't believe any of it. Just remember, this is the same fan base that covered up for Hugh Freeze and acted for 2 years like they didn't do anything wrong and still acts like that today. So no matter what they say, don't believe it. Their own media, who are the biggest fanboys in the world, won't admit to being fans. They lie about that. So what are you going to say? She'll punch anyone for Chevron chicken on a stick, Wayman Hodge says of Landshark, and that gets a vigorous nod of her head. Do you think Cannizzaro will ever do an interview about this team? I don't know, and I can't imagine. I guess some State fans would be interested. I got to be honest. If I never hear the name Cannizzaro again, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. When it happened, I was worried that Mississippi State was losing a great opportunity. But the only person that lost a great opportunity here was Andy Cannizaro. Look at the team he could have coached. Look at what could have happened. And he cost himself. He's now gone. He's history. This right here, this ain't history. All right? This is going to Omaha. This is building. This is going to bigger and better things. So Andy Cannizaro, whatever led you to do whatever you did, you're free to go do it. We don't care anymore. Love the Masters and McNamee homers, but the best in school history was the Hunter Renfroes that led to the National Championship Series, Jay Hammers. See, I don't agree with that. Didn't we win that game 4-0? Hunter Renfroe hit a home run that game. He hit a home run, that's fine, but it wasn't a walk-off home run. It wasn't a, it wasn't like McNamee's where you were down to your last strike. And it wasn't like Masters that was a grand slam when he was 6 for 6 that day. James King says, hello, Landshark. Got some fans out here. Oh, by the way, we talked about this. Are you going to host a show with me one day? We'll just come out here and you'll just host it, and me and you just sit here and talk? Good, because I'm gonna rail on Ole Miss the entire show. All right. For a while, Tim Corbin was reported to be in our top 3. Has he withdrawn his name from consideration? He has definitely not done that. Chip Gibson, what do you think about A.J. Brown's tweets during the baseball game the other night? Yeah, I saw him. Just like what I just said about Andy Cannizaro, I don't care what A.J. Brown thinks about anything. I don't know if he thinks he's being classy or if he thinks he's whatever. You know, he made his bed. Let him lie in it. He's going to go play 3 years and never play a meaningful football game in his life. Great. He'll be in the NFL next year. He's a good player. He's one of the best players in the SEC. I don't care what A.J. Brown has to say about anything. Golden age for MSU sports is right now Justin Walthall. Morgan Maurice Willis says the Chalker Walker show. Why would Chalker go ahead of Walker there? Can you tell me that? It's my show. Wouldn't it be the Walker Chalker show? That sounds better anyway. What are Terps and Landsharks plans after June 30th? Terp, what are your plans after June 30th?
Probably gonna move to New York City. With no plan. But I have no job and I'm living with family.
You can't hide money.
What does that do with money?
Can't hide money. Landshark, what are your plans after June 30th? You're getting married in July, right? What was that? Oh. Oh, I didn't. Brandon, it's worth noting that McNamee's 2-strike count was the second time we were down to our last strike in that game. Hunter Stovall worked a 3-2 count with 2 outs before walking to set up the walk-off. Very good point. Very good point. Wayman Hodge says they're going to get fat and sassy. Tony Muley, good morning to you, sir. I had a nightmare about the whistle, says Shannon Davis. It's still stuck in my head. I'm fine about the whistle. Although, did you see the Clarion Ledger reporter yesterday saying whining Mississippi State fans whining about the whistle? Like, it's not enough that you guys are the worst statewide newspaper in the country. You got to actively be hostile towards the biggest fan base in the state. You got to do that. Where is the common sense? Where's the self-awareness from Clarion Ledger beat writers? They keep going after Mississippi State's fan base. We beat Oregon State 4-1, and it was a 3-run bomb with a dead bat and a ball. It took us to the National Championship Series. Doesn't have to be a walk-off. Jay Hammers, I think it kind of does have to be a walk-off. I mean, it was a great home run. It's one of the greats, but, you know, there just wasn't that drama around it. There wasn't that drama around it. Ethan Fleury, better road to win CWS, breeze through at home like Oregon State, or grit out away games like us? I don't think there is a better road. I mean, Coastal Carolina have a really tough road a couple of years ago, and they won it all. I mean, your road, it's about your team. It's not about your road, really. I don't really think that what happened the previous week is usually going to affect. I mean, State's going to have a week off, and nerves and feelings that you've never had before will be there in Omaha. So whoever handles it the best, that's who's going to be in best shape. Now, Florida will be in the best shape. They've won it before. They've been here. They go here every year, so they're not going to be nervous at all. Vandy was a terrible place to host a super regional, but great results from last weekend there. This team's run is very similar to Fresno State and Coastal Carolina, who both won it all. John Holliday. I don't know why you guys are talking about Matt Luke in the comment section. I missed the original comment. At this point, it's anybody's to win, says Jason Cleveland. I would agree with that. Sherry Murphy says, I hate the Clarion Ledger. Have forever. Ole Miss paper, days long gone in the past. I don't hate the Clarion Ledger. I would like to like the Clarion Ledger, but the writers who continue to take shots at Mississippi State unprovoked make it very difficult. Very difficult. I love Mississippi State a hell of a lot more than I love that paper. So, Will Salmon, by the way, I think announced today, or he's not going to be there anymore. That's a blow. That's a tough one. He's the best beat writer we've had in a long time. Any of these remaining teams worry you, John Kelsey? Not really. I mean, State's in Omaha. I mean, they've kind of achieved so much. If you go 0-2, it'll hurt for a moment, but then you'll realize how good it was, how good of a run it was. But I mean, it's Omaha. All other teams are going to be very, very good. So as far as worry me, I mean, any team can beat Mississippi State in Omaha, and Mississippi State can beat any team in Omaha. Toby Denton says Will Salmon is great. No, it's the Will Salmon Appreciation Hour. Why didn't you like working at the Tupelo Daily Journal? Bob Giles. It was early in my career, and I was. They hired me. I'd been a writer in Meridian. I'd been a writer everywhere else, and I came up there, and they put me to designing the paper, and the writers in front of me were not talented, and they were terrible. They were not good, and I wasn't going to sit on the bench behind terrible players, so I left, and I made my own career. And that's the truth. I'm honest with everything. As long as someone takes out Arkansas, I'm good. As a State fan, we were playing with house money, says Jay Hammers. I think Jay lives in Arkansas, so he has an added bonus or an added incentive for Arkansas to get out of there. Sure, he doesn't enjoy it. Maybe Will could come work with you. Grace Thacker, good. That would be great. I'll hire him at SEC Country. Of course, he'll be out of a job on June 30th, just like me. But I am launching my new business, and right now I'm in the mode of gathering money and gathering funds. I got to buy equipment. I got to buy a camera. I got to buy a new laptop because I'm sure they're going to keep this pretty one right here. I got to buy lighting equipment so I can go around. I'd like to do shows at Maroon and Company. I'd like to do shows around the state. You know, there's a guy here that owns a restaurant in Manatee. I'd love to do a show there. I'd love to do a show if you're in Hattiesburg and you have a restaurant. I'd love to do a show from your restaurant, or you know, wherever you are in Mississippi. If you want me to come do a show, I'd like to be able to have a setup where I can come do that, and we can. My feeling is I'm not just launching a podcast. I'm not just launching a show. I want to build a community of people. I have the same people show up here every single day. That, you know, if you guys were selling something or something, you can come here and say, hey, I'm selling this, and you have it sold in 5 seconds. I want to build a community of Mississippi State fans, and I want to kind of be at the center of that. So that's what I'm doing. Borum's Drugstore in Corinth, Mississippi. Oh, I'd love to be in Corinth. I love Russell's Steakhouse. That's my answer to Corinth. Steve C. says, my hot tub could be a podcast venue. Steve C.'s hot tub. I don't know what to say. I just, the image of me in a hot tub with a microphone is just more than I can bear right now. Who's going to help you produce the show? This guy. Or I might have to train my wife to do it, which is probably a bad idea because I haven't been able to train her to do anything else in 12 years, so we'll see. Thomas Lenore says, can I be the cameraman? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We'll do it in the smokestack in Point City. Could you give guided tours of West Point, Ethan Fleury? That would take about 3.5 minutes. That wouldn't take long. One circle around the town. Here's the high school football stadium. Here's where Brandon Walker grew up. That's it. Bring Landshark with you, says Charles Dunaway. Somebody says, is Ties Day still going to be a thing? Landon Miles, y'all are lucky I'm here. Yeah, I just, now that I'm getting towards the end of this, the motivation to get up and put on a tie just isn't there right now. It's not there right now. Your time at the Daily Journal, is that the reason you have a bad relationship with Greg Ellis? Greg Ellis was gone before I got to the Daily Journal. So no. And do I have a bad relationship with Greg Ellis? I don't know. Have I said that on the show before? Tim Franks, please stop saying that. Please stop saying that, Tim Franks. Are you moving back to Mississippi? By the end of the summer, I would like to be back in Mississippi. I do have, some things going on in Atlanta to keep some food on the table, but I'd like to be in Mississippi. I'd like to live in Starkville. I'd like for that to be my home base. Landshark, before I'm about to wrap up, get my email up on the show because I just told everybody I'm a business plan and I need money. morecowbellshow@gmail.com. morecowbellshow@gmail.com. If you want to email me, please do that. Facebook.com/The More Cowbell Show. That's where the new show will launch in July. D. Curtis says you have an open invitation to come to the MSU Horse Park to tailgate. I hope that's for football games and not just tailgating at the horse park just to do it. We want to see Landshark on camera. Jim Call. We'll get you on camera, maybe this week, maybe not. Nobody ever wants to see Terp on camera. With good reason. Cameron Crockett. Let me answer this last question, then we'll go. Are you just doing a show, or are you going to be writing also? I'm going to be offering several products. My number one product will be the show, the Facebook Live, the video, and the audio. But I will also be starting a website where I write live blogs from games, where I write columns, where I write stuff about Mississippi State, because that's what I want to write about. I haven't written in a couple of years. There will be a website called themorecowbellshow.com or morecowbellshow.com. There will be other stuff, including the podcast and the video. Now, Landshark has to go to lunch. I have gone over. I am very, very sorry. My name is Brandon Walker. Please go to lunch. You go to lunch too. I'll go to lunch. My name's Brandon Walker. You've been watching More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.